Well, hello. Look who it is. Wow, there's like a shadow from my lamp. That's weird. It's been so long since I've been sitting here. I forget what it feels like. I guess it's because there's no light from the other side, too. But, anyways, you are on the lifeboat. This is Captain Calhoun speaking. Welcome in. Howdy, howdy. Jason P. Sweet Liberty. We were talking about you earlier, Jason P. All terrible things, of course, of course. Rolling Stone, Brazy Girl, Monk Searcher. Hey there. Congratulations on your sobriety, Brazy Girl, by the way. Since we're here now, look at this. I'm so proud of you, dude. I have been pulling for you and praying for you and just everything that I've been keeping you in my thoughts and my heart, and just really proud of you. You should be proud of you. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. Tamber June, what's going on? Welcome in, welcome in. I'm going to do some scrolling and some rolling. Seventh son, Steve-O. What's going on, brother? Congratulations on your second day, doggy. What are we doing here? Forgetting what I'm doing. Charlie Mullins, the first subscriber. OG in the house. He's a veteran. Not of the military, but of the boat. Marion Van Bokel. Hello, hello, hello. That sounds a lot like someone else we have on the boat. I bet you Squirrel will play it cool. She'll act like she doesn't care, and then it will turn out that she actually cares quite a bit, but in a good way. I figure we'll talk a little bit about boundaries today, y'all. It's really hot in my apartment, and the air conditioning's on, but it's going to take a while. And, I'd like to relax, but I'm very excited to be back in this seat, back in this hat, back on my routine, back on my grizzy. Everything's good, everything good gravy, if you know what I mean. Cinderella's glass slipper, Gemini girl, hello, hello. Conversations with Christy, welcome in. What is going on? Good to see you home and looking refreshed. I just got out of the shower. I am so tired. The bus ride was way better. The bus ride from Phoenix to Tucson was way better than the plane. I don't think I've spoken to you since, but man, I thought the ride on the plane to Salt Lake was bad, but man, the ride back was terrible. It was legendary. I don't think I'm ever going to fly not first class again. If I can't fly first class, I don't think it's worth it. I told my dad that, and he said, I've been kicked in the back in first class. And I said, well, someone's going to get kicked in the head. But that's not real. That's not real. I'm not going to kick anyone in the head. But that's how I felt after I got off the plane today. There were these children behind me just assaulting my chair to the point where I said, excuse me, do you mind? Please quit doing that. I had to do that twice, at the beginning and at the end of the flight. Neither time really was very effective. I figured there's no reason to repeat myself and get all riled up, but man, it was hellacious. I had already moved seats too. They put me next to a service dog. I'm quite familiar with the breed of dog that this lady had, and it is not a service dog. I'm sorry. And I'm only griping and moaning because it was sitting next to me. If it wasn't sitting next to me, I probably wouldn't have cared. The whining of the dog was drowned out by the assault of the children anyways. That being said, I'm really happy to be home. Oh my gosh. I made a friend on the bus. It was very pleasant. We did get stuck in traffic, but it was okay. Now I'm home. It's my only clean shirt that didn't have curse words on it. Man, oh my gosh. But yeah, boundaries, guys. Boundaries, which I think is ironic because I did a lot of boundary setting this week and discovered new boundaries and evolved and adjusted some old boundaries. And it was just a beautiful evolution, I have to say. So I'm probably not going to share the experience quite yet. I still have to process it to share it properly. But we will talk about boundaries. Boundaries are how we teach others how to treat us and how not to treat us. I am a people pleaser, and I always have been. So boundaries were something that I had to learn painstakingly. And I'm proud to say I am very good at setting firm boundaries, yet gently and politely, if need be. Obviously, setting boundaries politely is probably a good idea. So you don't want to cause conflict by setting boundaries. The whole idea is to say, hey, this is like a line I don't want you to cross. Would you please not cross it, kind of thing, right? And it builds mutual respect. This is the way. I watched a lot of Star Wars this week, too. I had no idea that the Book of Boba Fett had The Mandalorian in it. And I also had no idea that so the last season of The Mandalorian is after the end of Boba Fett. So I had seen some stuff that wasn't yet to happen yet, but it was cool. It was all good. I enjoyed it. I never realized the dark saber was so heavy. But anyways, what's going on, Mo Love? I was just thinking about you. Cinderella's glass slipper. Hey, hey, hey. Crafty Witch, welcome in. Teach someone how to treat you. You have to. You have to, Shannon Smith. Shannon and Body Illusion, what's going on? Good to see you. Sweet tea. When someone gets a chance to go to the office, your coffee beans are there. Oh, thank you so much. That is exactly what I need. I'm going to go get them tomorrow. If I have to go get them myself, I will, because it's going to be necessary. Spanks, so glad you're home safe and you saw the past life through new eyes. What an adjustment, dude. I can't wait to share it with you. Can't wait to share it with you. And like the biggest breakthrough, I think, is going to be difficult to share. I'm not one to kiss and tell, so I don't know how we're going to get through that. But I adjusted a romantic boundary in a very healthy way, and it paid off dividends, I have to say. But let's actually talk about some boundaries, huh? Was just thinking about you going live, and boom, you did. Well, you summoned me, Mo Love. You summoned me. The kids on the flight needed boundaries. That's right. And, I'm not a parent, so I have a hard time saying y'all are bad parents, so hands off, blah, blah, blah. That's what I want to say. That's what my mind says. But I don't know what it's like to be a dad. I don't know how it is to have two hellions as children. That's one of the reasons I don't have a dog. It's because one of my greatest fears is that I will raise a bastard dog. You know what I mean? It's just like the worst dog ever. I think that's an unrealistic fear because I care enough to train it properly, right? I probably, if I had kids, I would care enough to. I'm not saying they didn't care. Again, now I feel like I'm in deep water. I don't know anything about being a parent, but those kids were hell on wheels. Witchcraft is working. It's a good sign. But yeah, there's no bad dogs, but there are naughty dogs. Shout out to Crash Bandicoot. Spanks, I love you using the word romantic. Makes my heart sing. I tell you what, I deserve some romance. And I got exactly what I deserved. Let's talk about something else, though. Boundaries, dudes. I remember crying on planes too, Chamber June. I was always scared we were going to crash. Nowadays, I'm just like, whatever happens, happens. I accept it. I've lived a good life. Obviously, I would love to live a long time, but if the worst were to happen, I accept. I'm doing some pretty sweet things in my life, and I'm proud of me. But anyways, I had to learn this. So there are some common boundaries that we can all relate with, right? Like, I don't want a random person coming up and giving me kisses. You know what I mean? I don't want. There's some like pretty understandable common boundaries in society, right? I should have come up with more examples than that, but there are also unique boundaries to each individual, right? My boundaries aren't going to be the same as yours. I know people that just don't like being touched. My dad's one of those people. And that varies in degrees, right, between different people and whatnot, and also moment to moment. But the point is that you need to decide and find out, maybe discover what your boundaries are. I hate that the shadow's right on my eyes. It bothers me. Can we do whatever? I'm going to deal with it. I'm just going to put up with it. You got to discover what your boundaries are. If you're a people pleaser like me, you might have no idea what your boundaries are. You just know sometimes you don't feel good, or sometimes you feel a little anxious. And it's going to take some being present in the moment, being honest with yourself, a little reflection, maybe some journaling, right? But once we discover what our boundaries are, we can effectively set them. I mean, again, back to what we said earlier, we want to try and do that gently and politely. It's essential to interacting with others, especially in today's world when we're all charged, when it seems like there's like a civil war on the horizon. You know what I mean? It's very, very important that we set clear boundaries, and that honestly, that we respect others' boundaries. If you're not respecting others' boundaries, how can you expect them to respect yours? What about an empty alley? What do you mean? Spanks, wait, so I shouldn't run up to you in a crowded alley and kiss you? That's correct. Yes. And it's not about people seeing. It's about how comfortable I am with situations and interactions, right? But I think you knew that. I think that you're just being funny. I know you. I'm also a hugger, Brazy, but sometimes I don't want to be touched. Sometimes in moments I'm like, and body language is an effective way to set soft boundaries. Sometimes it's necessary to set them a little more firmly, right? But with my friends, I can set boundaries very softly, just by using my body language. Like if I'm meeting people or reconnecting with people that I know, I mean, everyone's hugging. They can tell if I don't want to hug, and they don't take it personally. You know what I mean? Which is kind of neat. Boundaries are self-love, and we're going to get to that, Christy. Maybe we'll just skip to that part right now, but this is a form of self-care. Establishing what is good and what is not for you. I mean, this is essential to self-care, to self-love. If you don't know how you want to be treated, how can you treat yourself? Mic drop. Rolling Stone. I think my biggest boundary is being lied to. And my daughter-in-law is a liar. Wow. And it's causing problems, and I'm trying to meditate. But ain't gonna lie, feeling a bit homicidal. I was feeling that on the plane today. I was gonna twist some children's heads off, but I'm glad I didn't. Very proud of me. Low 0708. Before you hug, just ask first. I like that. And that's always an effective way. If you're not sure, if you're not certain, ask someone what they're, if this is a boundary. Ask them like, hey, is this all right if I do this? If I'm ever in doubt, I just ask. It's way easy. Just get the words out of my mouth, boom, wait for an answer. Bear spray is like the step up from firm boundary. There's like firm, there's soft, and then there's bear mace. You know what I mean? It's very, very, very firm. Traveling with children is not easy. That being said, there are general societal manners that are expected, and I feel like most people don't follow them. Kristen Kruger, welcome in. I actually made a live, not super late. It's really late for me, but I mean, I guess that's why you're catching it. I'm glad you're here, Kristen. I also am not a big physical touch person. I don't want their energy. Yo, that's a big, big deal. I did not put that in my notes at all. I'm so glad you brought that up, Kristen. It's an energy exchange, whether you believe in that or not. You're touching someone, you're hugging them, you're exchanging a little bit of energy. If you ever like walking through a place, you're an empath and you like feel something, it might, that's like kind of out of the blue. It's probably not yours. It's probably someone else's, and you're just kind of picking it up like a radio signal. We are electromagnetic beings. We have like a field or something. They say, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but yeah, try being an empath Pisces on the Aquarius cusp. Let's go. And boundaries are also how we teach people to respect us. There's something in here about respect. Where are we at? If you're establishing boundaries for the first time, they should be consistent so people know what to expect. And that's not to say that they won't change or evolve, because we are changing and evolving as we live, as we grow, right? Our boundaries are bound to adjust with us. But you do want to, maintain an element of consistency. If you're changing your boundaries on a dime, people aren't going to know what to do. They're going to find you very inconsistent, and it's probably not a good thing, Boundaries can empower individuals to take control of their lives, make decisions confidently, and foster healthier interactions with others. Now, let's talk about some personal stuff. So, hit that like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications if you like what we do here real quick while I'm thinking about this. So, one of my boundaries now is like I don't drink, right? And I don't do drugs. I like to keep my mindset clear and focused. And over the week, I was out in the desert at a festival. It was kind of like a big old party, right? Which it doesn't need to be treated that way, but a lot of people do treat it that way. So one of the boundaries I really needed to be firm on was that I'm not going to be partying, right? I may be celebrating and reveling, but I'm not going to be partaking in any substances, right? And all my friends knew that, and it's not, I didn't necessarily need to tell all of them because I have told them already, you know what I mean? But sometimes people don't know and you need to inform them. I was offered things many times, right? That's just like the culture is gifting. It's a gifting culture. There's no trade, there's no money unless you're buying bags of ice, which is kind of funny. But it's a gifting economy at the Burning Man stuff. So people like to gift beers. People like to gift whippets. People like to gift all kinds of substances. And I was offered quite a bit of stuff. I was offered a myriad of things. And I just politely told them, no, I'm not doing that tonight. Or, I'm taking a little break from all that, or I quit drinking. I'm actually an animal. Thanks for the offer though, And it was great. It was really good. There was no awkward boundary setting. It was which is cool. Sometimes you set a boundary and it's not respected immediately. Sometimes you set a boundary and someone's like, they're going to repeat the question sometimes even. If someone's not going to respect my boundaries, I don't really need them in my space, period. And when I say my space, I mean like in my vicinity. So that's how I feel about that. Respecting boundaries is very important. If someone's not respecting my boundaries, that's a huge red flag. Huge red flag. Especially like I start setting boundaries small. You know what I mean? Especially if I need to. I kind of set boundaries as needed. A lot of people know how to treat another human. A lot of people don't. So I definitely will gauge like a person based on how they respect boundaries, 100%. And I don't feel guilty about that at all. That's how I protect myself, and that's how I move through the world the way that I want to. Thank you for saying that, Christy. I really appreciate that. I got your messages today. I've just been so swamped. I need to get back in the communiques. Can someone tell me why millennials are so effing passive aggressive? I would prefer straight up get in my face and tell me off aggressive. In fact, punch me. Just stop with the gaslighting BS. I think that's a generational thing, Rolling Stone. I think most kids these days have never been punched in the mouth. And I know that, violence isn't a good thing. But I mean, I think the world was a whole lot simpler when we just had fist fights. We weren't pulling guns out. You know what I mean? I think that when the world was younger, respect meant a lot. You know what I mean? When the world was less, when the map was less filled in, I guess. These days, it's kind of hard for that model to work in society because there's so many people, because we're so technologically advanced, because we're so connected. It's really hard to do that. But I mean, we need a new solution, right? If people are mouthing off because they've never been smacked around, we need to teach harder, right? We need to set better examples. There's got to be a nonviolent way to fill the same role as a fist in the mouth. And that's my opinion. I grew up getting smacked around. I mean, I'm not saying my dad smacked me around, but like I was getting in fist fights with kids. You know what I mean? I was not a wuss. I was not getting stepped on. I was beating up bullies and stuff. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not glorifying that. But I came from a different world where people had respect, because if they didn't, there was going to be problems. You know what I mean? I am a big fan of amiably talking through things these days. I'm a big fan of like, even if we disagree, we can still respect each other. And I love that. But sometimes you're in a conversation with someone that you've just met or whatever, just in a conversation with someone, and it becomes very clear and self-evident that this person doesn't respect boundaries. They're self-centered and selfish, or what have you, whatever the case may be. And I don't see any value in continuing that conversation. Tamber June says, my coach would say they were disappointed in us, and that made us feel so sad for what we did. Interesting. If my dad had said that to me when I was a kid, it would crush me for sure. I would change my ways. The approval of my father was very important. It always was very important to me. I think that is a great point. There are different ways to teach these same lessons. I'm confident. I don't know what they are. I still have the old way, right? I still have the old gods in my heart and in my head. So I'm actively working on that. I haven't been in a fist fight in many, many, many years. So I'm doing an all right job. That doesn't mean that I'm effectively handling all of my conflicts. Some of them I just have to cut tail and run because I don't know what to do, right? But I am actively working on it. Every single song is louder than the one before it. I keep having to turn it down. The solo was epic, though. I'm here, but crocheting tonight's video project. Ooh, you'll have to share with the class later. I am sorry to hear that, Mo Love. That's not okay. Not in any reality, in my opinion. I love you, Mo Love. Have a good night, all right? I hope I didn't trigger you. Christy says definitely a generational thing. They just see life differently than us. They were raised differently, and that wasn't their fault. But being a good example is so important. I agree. And that's one of the most effective ways we can teach. by setting an example, by walking the walk. It doesn't require any teaching. It just requires being what you want to see. Izzy said something to me earlier today. She said, and I'm not going to quote because I'm not looking at it, but it was something to the effect of, I'm just putting out in the world what I would like to get back. I'm just doing what I would like to see in the world. I was telling her she was awesome. And she basically said, I'm just doing what I do, and hoping that kind of thing comes back around. And I thought that was beautiful. Kind of like the golden rule, right? Treat others how you would like to be treated. Put out into the world and move through the world the way you would like others to. Everyone going to bed. You make me want to go to bed. Rick Spicer, what's good, buddy? Wally, hey. I'm sorry, Mo. Janet G, what's going on? Going on. I should stay for 10 minutes, but I want to leave, guys. I want to go to bed. That's my presentation. Tracy Meyer, what's going on? Meyer. Be the change you want to see in the world. I love it. I love it a lot. Understanding where people come from is important. Being who you want to meet or what you need is a real thing for me. I tell you what, conversations with Christy, one of my favorite lessons that my dad taught me was pray for your enemies, because they wouldn't be acting like that if everything was right in their world. That blew my mind. That blew my brains. Like to think that people that are jerks are just having a hard time in life. Like, boom, like that blew my mind. Like of course they don't want to be a dick. No one wants to be a jerk. It makes sense when you put it that way, right? I lost 15 pounds on this trip, guys. I was not eating very well. Yeah. I weighed 162. I weigh 147 right now. I look good. I'm definitely thin, I have to say. I'm going to be pounding food tomorrow. My protein should arrive tomorrow as well. I also think that, Wally, and we can talk about this on another live, because there is so much to talk about here with societal collapse. The gender bendy thing. I'm going to research the fall of empires, like the Roman Empire. I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head, though, but that one's pretty well documented, right? That's a good example. And at before the fall of the Roman Empire, there was a lot of weird things going on, a lot of strange things, and a lot of them are going on right now in society. And we all know, because of the internet, because we're so connected, we all know what's going on. And I would definitely like to address this later, Wally. In fact, I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. This is definitely a topic that's going to take some care, though, because I don't want to divide people. I want to bring people together. That's the whole point of this channel. Connection, baby. All the powers that be are attempting to divide us. Advertisements, blah, blah, blah. The world itself is very divisive today, in today's world. So whatever we can do to come together and find some common ground is amazing, is the best. Samantha Mitch, welcome in. I love your polka dots. Well, Wally, I have to say the boomers running the world is atrocious. And I'm not, I don't think that the Gen Zs and the millennials, I don't know which generation is which, but I find it hard to see anyone doing that job very well. But the people doing the job right now suck at it. They're terrible. They're ancient. And the young folks don't have any experience and are kind of spoiled, I think. But we'll see. Time will tell. Time will definitely tell. Whatever comes is going to come, and we're going to meet it with our best attitude. It's hard to speculate about the future. I try to just stay right here in the present and do my best. Maybe like kind of see what may be coming, right? Think about that a little bit so that I can like plan properly. But I try to spend most of my time right here, centered, grounded. And on that note, Wally, everybody drops the ball now and again. I shouldn't backtrack. I should speak with conviction. I think they're doing a terrible friggin' job. I don't really think that. I think that my generation has a lot of passion, a lot of intelligence, a lot of drive, right? But we don't know what to do. We don't friggin' know what to do. We know what we don't like, and we know what we like, but Like, we don't know what the path forward is. My buddy Martin's going to get into politics. I told him I will bankroll it. I'll bankroll the moves. So I got to make a lot of money, guys. I gotta find out a real lucrative way to get it in. I would like to change the world, and I think that money is required to do so, unfortunately. But maybe not. Maybe this is enough. Maybe the connection, the love, the education, the example, just the coming together and talking, even though we all come from very unique, different walks of life, even though we all have very unique and different experiences, we can come together here twice a day and have a great time and communicate, laugh, cry, whatever. All right. There is one topic from the weekend that I am ready to talk about. And I'm going to do it slowly and delicately because I don't want to say this person's name, but I need to talk about it because it really, really makes me sad. But I ran into one of my friends while I was out there, and we were reminiscing about old times. And I'm sober, and they're not. They're really bad off. They're twisting the glass. And we were talking about stuff, and they told me, you remember that summer, like a year or two ago, when we were all hanging out together and partying and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I remember that summer. That was the summer we all got hooked on cocaine and meth. I wasn't doing meth, but she was. And she said that was the best summer ever. And that crushed me. That blew my mind. She looks at that like a great thing, like a wonderful thing. And that just like broke my heart. Like, I can't possibly look at that summer that way. That's the summer that I ruined my life. I mean, it led me here. I don't know if I can cry in front of you guys. I'm not vulnerable enough to do that, but it's like welling up and then backing down and welling up and backing down like a volcano experiment at science class. But like just that dichotomy, that difference, like the same exact experience that we shared together, like together every step of the way. And don't get me wrong, I had fun. I was partying, you know what I mean? But like the mark that left on my memory is not a bright one. It's a stain. It's a stain on my soul. And the fact that like I can't save her. I just want her to live, man. I just want her to have a shot. And I can't get hung up on that stuff, but that was just the craziest conversation that we just took 5 minutes to have this conversation, but just spoke volumes. Like what different places we're in. And like the place that she's in is terrible. She's about to go to jail. She's about to lose her dogs. She's about to lose her house. She's about to lose everything that she's built, her job, her business, her own business. And she's looking back at all the blow we did like it's wonderful. I don't understand. I'm sorry. But maybe I do get it. Maybe I do. She's lost. It's okay. There's nothing I can do about it, and I have to accept that. I'm going to do what I can, though. I did tell her that, Rolling Stone. I did. Absolutely. In Tampa, June, it was real short. It was real short and sweet. You know what I mean? It did not take a whole lot of time to have this conversation. And I will be there for her. I might foster her dogs. Mo Love said she wanted to foster her dogs. I'm sure that I'm sure a million people want to foster her lovely animals. That's something I can do. Sending her love right now. Thank you, El Bowman. I'm sorry about that emotion, guys. The captain's always right, but I don't want to be smacking tables. Thanks for saying that, Rolling Stone. You're so funny, Random Toaster. Tommy will be on tomorrow at some point. I usually do the mornings, but he may do the morning tomorrow. I don't know what the plan is. I intend to get up, and if he's not on, I'm gonna get on. But he's around, Random. I promise. He's around. He's around. But you guys are gonna totally watch me become him. You guys are gonna watch me get better and better and better, and we're gonna be raucous before long. Thanks, Tamber June. Thanks for saying that. That's what my dad said too. He was like, they need to feel that stuff, dude. Give it to them. Give it to them. Pull the stopper out. Shake the bottle. Yeah, my soul yearns for her to be okay. That's right. Not in my right mind, right? Not in my right mind. Ooh, you can't really do that and then hang up. We have to hang out for a second. Be cool. Corey Worthington, welcome in. Welcome in. It's Scooby using boyfriend's phone. What's up, Scoob? What's good? What's goody in the hoodie? I'm doing great. I'm home. I'm safe. The air conditioning's working. Yeah, my house is semi-clean. Most of the mess in here is just my stuff from the trip. Which way do I go? This way? Yeah. Burp, burp, burp. Oh, thanks, Rolling Stone. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm into it. I'm with it. Different perspectives and past experiences. That's right, Barbara C. Got Calhoun on TV since I'm helping my boyfriend with his Tesla. Ooh, your boy's got a Tesla. Cool. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how would you rate your trip? 10. 100% 10. The kissing and not telling was what made it a 10 for sure. I was like at about a 7 or 8 for sure. Not winning the wing challenge really, really bugged me. I have to go back. I'm going to start training. Me and this Grizzly Heat are going to get to know each other real well. Shout out to Rhett and Grizzly Heat and everyone over there. Much love. Hashtag spicy. But then I turned around and just lived my dreams. Lived my dreams. I have to say, that one was multiple years in the making. Both of us have been dreaming about that for a long time. And I was the one that was in the way, for sure. But it was all natural. It was all good. It's perfect. It happened exactly how it was supposed to. Everything is perfect right now. Spanky, she doesn't have the perspective you have. If she were sober, she would have a different perspective. And you're right, Sweet Tea. And you're right. It's hard to say 10, Wally, but not in this instance. Like, easy 10. Easily, like, it was way better than I could have expected. It was way different than I expected. But I got so much. Validation being a really big part of that. Huge validation. I'm doing great. I really am. My grandparents were so proud they cried a little bit. I thought that was pretty cool. I love them. Shout out to my grandparents. Christy Crest, thank you very much. I'm rooting for you too. Oh, well, hit that like and subscribe and the bell for notifications if you like what we do here. It certainly makes a difference. I want to get out of here. Ooh, gross. Good night, Christy. I hope you have a good night, all right? We'll see you tomorrow. I'm also going to go to bed, y'all. Hope you have a great night. Much love. Let's practice some self-care and some self-love tonight. I'm gonna go put some lotion on my body and just get into bed. It's gonna be great. My skin needs it. It's all dry from my trip. But all right, y'all. Whoop whoop. Tell someone you love them.